The new Fisch update has been out for quite some time, and we have finally discovered what is the brand new best rod in the game. Previous to this update, it was arguably the Rod of the Depths that I have right here, or if the No Life Rod if you were level 500. Looks like, though, this update has brought some competition to those rods and a challenge to possibly have a way better rod. Now, just so I can make sure that everybody on this video is on the same page here, I have to show you guys how you can actually get to all of these new best rods. So let's go ahead and get on our super flippers because you're going to need those. But more importantly, you're actually going to need a tide breaker right here or a glider if you have one. Either one works. Now, to actually access all of this content, you're going to need to go all the way kind of west, or I guess it would be to this little area where the rock is being held up. I don't know how to say it, but it's all the way at the bottom right over here where you will see a kind of a waterfall just drifting down into the ocean. This is the only waterfall on this island that does drift to the ocean, and you will notice there is a cutout right inside of this little thing right here, and you have to kind of try to bounce up with the tide breaker into here, or you can try jumping off the ledge with a glider. Now, when you actually proceed down here, you want to make sure you actually take the rope and not jump in because you will die. So take the rope, and this will lead you all the way down into the ancient archives. And it will basically say this place hums with ancient energy. And if you already have the door open, well, good job. You're a step ahead. But if you do not have a door open, you're going to need to find 4 people who all carry a different type of fragment inside of the game. You can see there's actually 4 fragments, but I don't think I can get them to be together in my inventory. But yeah, right here we have a solar fragment, an ancient fragment, an earth fragment, as well as the deep sea fragment. These are all used depending on what spot you stand in. So for example, the deep sea fragment, I am pretty sure this is the purple one. So you would stand here and place it inside of the door, but I just can't do it because I already finished this. You would place it inside of the door and then spin this around until this little picture is facing you directly. Now, you are going to need 4 people to do this with, so make sure you have some friends to do this with. But let me show you how you actually get all 4 of these fragments if you don't already know. And this is like the starting part of this video where I will show you guys the best rod in this new update. To actually get these 4 fragments, they're fairly easy to do, and I believe you do have to collect all 4 of them even though you have friends. So you want to actually go all the way up, or wait, hold up, we went the wrong way. You do not want to go up this, but you want to go upside on this sand hill. You can tell it's sand by the floor. And you want to actually go ahead and go all the way top, all the way to that zip line to where you can go ahead, go across the ancient isles. And this is actually going to get you the hardest of all of the easy ones. So you want to go ahead and go across here. And then you want to go ahead, climb these rocks once again and cross this zip line. And this will lead you all the way to the first one, where if you climb just a little tiny bit more, there will be one of the things right here. Now, for one of the fragments, which I believe is the one that's standing right here, you do need it to be lunar eclipse during the day in the game. Right now, I do not have a lunar eclipse, and I'm about to show you how to do it. To get a lunar eclipse, you need to jump down right basically off of that hill and proceed all the way down these mountains to this rock. And you will notice a ledge that has I think it's like a fence or something. Yeah, it's right here. And you want to go ahead, go down here where there is a cave. In this cave, you will find the eclipse totem, as well as another type of fragment right here. It's easy to grab and it's free. But this eclipse totem makes it eclipse. That way you can get the one all the way back up there. So you're going to have to go back up there to get it. But that is how you get it to be eclipse if you don't want to wait for it. There's also a phoenix rod here that you can buy, and this is a fairly good rod, and I will explain why in just a moment. But we need to go ahead, use another conch, or go back into the star. I'm just going to use a conch so we can get here quickly. But the last one is actually fairly easy to get, and we have to actually go back all the way to where we went inside of the ancient archives. And I believe that was on the bottom side of the island over here. So Here we go. Yes, there it is. And there will be one all the way at the bottom of the ocean. And this will be the last one that you have to collect. For some reason, I can see this one, but not the rest. But yeah, that is the last one. Now, why did we have to do all of that? And what is the best rod inside of the new update? Most of these rods are obviously craftable things that you actually do need to get just off of the bat, because you won't be able to craft any of them without these craftables. For the most part, if I'm gonna be honest, they're easy things to craft. However, let me go down here and show you what those are. Oh, and for anybody wondering how you cross this section, just jump over here and then go ahead and use a glider as soon as you jump, and you can easily get to the other side without a problem at all. I believe you can actually go ahead and replicate the same exact thing right over here. Boom, there we go, easy. But all of the new rods are inside of right here, and as you can see, most of them are actually locked behind a level requirement. Like, all of these best ones are very much locked behind a level requirement, one being level 750, which, if I'm gonna be honest, this, I think, in my opinion, is a terrible idea that the developers have done. Don't get me wrong, I understand why they want to hide it behind the level, but this promotes macroing even more, bro. Like, nobody's hitting this level easily. But as you can see, all of these rods require you to get a type of thing, whether that is this first thing, which is always a type of gemstone. I'm going to show you guys how to get all of those. Or if it is the frozen driftwood, or if it's like, for example, I don't know, the mythical driftwood. There is also a magic thread, which I'm going to show you how to get. And let's actually go ahead and start with that one. So the magic thread can be gained two ways. One, either fishing, which is fairly difficult to do. I will say I have only managed to get one magic thread fishing. Actually, I got a lunar thread. And yeah, dude, this thing took me forever to fish for. I believe the lunar thread is used for the higher difficulty ones to craft, so it's really good that I did get it, but you can get it off of fishing. Now, the second method and the best way to do it is your treasure maps. But if it's like your first time getting a treasure map, you will notice that two of its coordinates are hidden, so there's no way to actually be able to tell where you have to go. You can actually unblur those question marks at the Sunstone Island if you just come over here and climb these little stairs right over here. Wait, Sunstone Island? Hold up, this is the wrong place. Not the Sunstone Island, bro. It's the Forsaken Shores. Dude, I just completely lost track of where I was going. But when you are here at the Forsaken Shores, and yes, this is the right area this time, you want to traverse your way all the way up to that little guy over there. I don't know if you can really see him, but if we go across the water over here, there is a very fast way to get to him. Similar to how you would get to the goldfish, whether that was for XP or coins when you were a new player, you kind of have to go the same way, except you follow up these ladders. But here we go. Boom. You just gotta climb up these stairs just like so. No problem. Here he is. And there we go. Let's just go ahead and talk to him. Can you fix my map? You just gotta take out the map that you're missing, bro. And he will go ahead and fix it for you. There we go. I just went ahead and fixed 3 of them. I'll do them later. But you basically follow the coordinates that he has on the map now using the GPS, which it should be in my inventory. I wish they would like change their inventory setup, bro. It's so hard finding stuff. But yes, here it is. The GPS shows coordinates, and you basically just go till you find it, and then you go straight down in the water, and you will get it. And that is basically how you get every single one of the threads that are used for like all kinds of rods. It's just a chance of what kind of thread you get. I personally got the lunar thread first, but you can get any of them. Now, there is 3 rods that are considered to be the best inside of the entire game. One is the Rod of the Forgotten Fang, which after 5 perfect catches triggers a special mode where or a special mode where a mech jumps out of the deeps with a higher tier fish, boosting a 5 to 10% size buff. Now, that's really good if you're trying to go for something that is massive, or like even a megalodon, but I honestly would not consider it the best, considering it's only a 5 to 10% size buff. The second to best one is this one, in my opinion, the Rod of the Eternal King, where every 30 seconds a 10% chance summons a royal escort, boosting luck by 150% for 10 seconds. If you miss a catch, there is a 15% chance of immediately catching a higher rarity fish. This is okay, but I honestly would not say this is the best either, because it's every 10 or 30 seconds that you get a 10% chance or a 15% chance of either getting a better fish or 150% more luck. And it also only lasts for 10 seconds. So if you're trying to catch a fish that is like humongous, bro, you're not getting it. But the other one, which I think is actually really good for basically only farming, is this one, where the Celestial Rod, after catching 250 fish, summon a Celestial Power for 5 minutes. And by the way, 5 minutes is quite a long time, dude. But you basically boost luck by 50%, increase lure speed by 30%, and caught fish also get the Celestial Mutation and a 30% XP on them. This, I believe, is like at level 400 or 500. It's fairly difficult to get, so if you're not at that, don't worry. I do have better rods for you guys, especially for beginner players. All of these rods are fairly good. However, the Celestial Rod is most likely to top off the Rod of Depths in general. Just because of its 5-minute long span, the Rod of the Depths does give you a Spirit of the King, which obviously has that chance of, you know, pulling in another fish. It's fairly good if you're trying to get money, but other than that, it's kind of not the best. So this Celestial Rod overall is probably topping everything else in terms of like trying to get cool fish or high rarity fish. But what is the best non-celestial or non-high level requirement that you can actually craft? The other best ones would honestly depend on how good you are at the game. If you're more of a newer player and don't have really a good rod, the Rapid Rod is probably something that you actually want to go for, or actually not the Rapid Rod, the Precision Rod. But this is actually a counterpart to the Rapid Rod with much better resilience. So it actually gives you resilience instead of like taking it away from you. It also catches up to 12,000 kilograms. So that is pretty strong, if I were to say. Another really good one in terms of farming money is this one, the Seasons Rod, because this actually does quite a lot for you. It boosts fish luck by 20% for the current season. It may also grant a seasonal mutation that changes the fish's colors based on the season it was caught. Now, the most important part is the seasonal mutation buffs. So it does provide quite a lot. And actually, for the winter season, it gives you a 2.5 times sell price. That is pretty insane if you're especially trying to get money. And then in the summer, though, it does give you a 25% increase in size, as well as in the spring, giving you a 3 times sell price. So if you haven't gotten the idea yet, you would want to catch during the summer, where you're getting a 25% increase in its size, and then sell in the winter, because it gives you 3 times more of the currency, bro. That is quite insane if you want to get a lot of money. It's actually fairly cheap too, 35,000. So by the time you are actually able to craft it, you will definitely have that money. Now, how do you actually get this opal thing, like the gemstones or also the driftwood? And now the driftwood as well as the gemstones are different depending on whatever rod it is, but the way you get them is the same. Firstly, to start with the stones that you need, the gemstones is kind of a hard thing to get, but it will be very easy if you do what I'm about to show you. The first method of obviously getting it, and probably the most expensive, unreasonable thing to do, is by spawning it in. If you actually have this new totem, which I cannot find in my inventory once again. Oh my god, finally, bro. The meteor totem is what actually spawns in the meteor, which has the gemstone. If I go ahead and actually activate it, and well, we do need to go kind of over there. It spawns on the southwest kind of like wing of the island. So if you head all the way over here and I go ahead and spawn this thing in, it will spawn like right over here. So here we go. Let's click the totem, and we should see it falling in from the sky. Or, hello? Where did it go? Okay, there it is. Yup, there is the... Oh my god, wait, what? It kills you? I didn't know that. Okay, well, lesson learned. Do not stand close to it. But when this does spawn, it actually does have a random gemstone that it can have inside of it. And basically, you can go ahead and collect this. But since I did just die, I think I, like, broke my game. Or it's not going to let me collect it. This update is quite buggy. It's a random chance of getting it. And it can naturally spawn in by yourself or by itself. So you don't actually have to place a totem. I want to see if I can actually go ahead and do that again. If I can find it in my inventory, bro. I believe it has a cooldown, but yeah, Meteor is already active. So until this guy disappears, I can't actually place it again. And that is why you can actually server hop for these, which in my opinion is the best method, because these meteors last quite a while, bro. Probably like 15 minutes. So just server hop, server to server, until you get the amount of gemstones that you need. Best method is completely free. Now for the driftwood, how do you get that? And oh my god, I hate getting the driftwood. Surprisingly, this one you actually can do it all the way at Moosewood, and I think this is the only spot you can do it in, but you're gonna need a lot of cages. And to get cages, it is actually right here, because this thing is a very low rarity item that you're trying to get, so it needs cages. You're essentially picking for trash, but if you go ahead and line up your crab cages, and let me go ahead and type in shift lock, but you can go ahead and put them all around the Moosewood Island. You can put it anywhere on the island, whether that's in the front or inside of this little lake. This is where I find the best luck, honestly, but I don't think it does matter. So you can just go ahead and line all of these up around the entirety of this little area that they have, and it will basically catch inside of your cages. I think it takes like 10-15 minutes once again to get something inside of your cages. And when you do catch something, you can come over here and appraise it to the version that you need. I don't know if I actually have any more driftwood left. Yeah, I don't think I do. But right over here, this little person, the appraiser, if you actually talk to them, you can say appraise this fish, even though it's not a fish. And they will basically appraise it for you. And you have to do that over and over again until you get the mutation that you need. And I will say for the rods that I did show you guys, you do get to kind of choose the traits that you kind of want to put on it. And I do recommend going for something that your rod is missing. For example, if it has a hard time pulling like big stuff in, I would definitely go for resilience or something like that. And honestly, you do not need abyssal so much unless your rod isn't making you enough money. But after you unlock the rod, it is basically straightforward from there, getting to level 750 for the best one, the Celestial. Also, man, I gotta give it to these fan artists, bro. They do such a good job. Like, imagine if this was an area in the game. How cool would that be, bro? The dude got a trident rod on. Oh, and also, if you need the GPS, it is actually right here at Moosewood. I forgot to mention this, but it's only $100. Very cheap to get. But I hope this video, I helped you guys out in trying to get every single thing in this update. I basically covered anything. If you have any questions, join my Discord server and let me know in there, or anybody that does play the game. But I gotta go back to my grind of getting to level 750. Until then, happy fishing.